In this video, you're going to learn the quickest way to get rid of your loneliness once and for all. Loneliness is one hell of a feeling. Having a bunch of people around you and feeling like nobody's there for you. It sucks because you want somebody to be there for you and you want somebody to understand you, but nobody's there. It seems like everyone's too busy or doing their own thing. I can relate. From the majority of my life, I struggled with loneliness, especially in the earlier years of my life. Didn't really have anyone I could talk to, and I felt like nobody really understood me. And what ended up happening is that the more I grew older, the more I would try to avoid this feeling of loneliness, because I just couldn't bear it. It just was too uncomfortable. The ones where you just sat in loneliness and you just gotta like drown yourself with either music or some other worldly entities to just get rid of the pain. But it always creeps back. The thing that you're using to drown out may drown out temporarily, but always come back. Until recently now, I was in a situation where my loneliness wasn't as intense as before. This one was very mild. However, it was a weird season in my life where loads of people in my life I couldn't get contact of. It was in the late months of July. I can remember so vividly, like all of a sudden everyone was just unavailable. Now I'm not sat here thinking that you all be available on my call, but you gotta understand the weird shift that I've faced. My family are always in my house and my friends are always available, and the people that I love, they're always just there. And all of a sudden, one's in Spain, this one has work this day and they never go to work. This person is hitting me up. Like I had a few friends that would contact me saying, "Hey, how you doing?" I reply, nobody's answering. I'm like, what's going on? All around me, I was looking around like, where is someone to talk to? But then I realized, okay, let me sit down and assess the situation. It's either everybody had a meeting saying that we don't like man anymore, we all have to ghost him, or this is an intentional thing by the Most High, God. And once I started to look around to see that there was nobody to talk to, nobody to express myself to, and even if I did talk about what I wanted to talk about, there was nobody to understand me. It then made me realize that, I'm alone. And it seemed intentional. And it just guided me towards the Bible, God. And I realized, okay, I'm in a season of separation and loneliness. And what happened in these few weeks was very intense. I started to face things that affected me in my childhood that I didn't even know affected me. I started to, grow as a person and learn new things about myself to embark on the quest of life that I'm going towards, and attain new skills because I will need them along the way. Why am I telling you guys this story? I'm telling you guys this story because your season of loneliness, you may be prolonging it. It may be a long occurring thing, but you need to understand that you being by yourself, you are avoiding it, but it's meant to be. And the more that you try to run away from it, the more you're delaying your growth as a human being. Because the fact of the matter is, the reason why loneliness is so uncomfortable is because we are running away from things that we need to face. We run away from childhood traumas or experiences that we haven't really processed yet, or just feelings of sadness. Point is, we all have our own thing that we need to address. And the more you run away, the more stagnant we become. You can't run forever, my friend. I know it's scary and I know it's intimidating, but this is for your own good. God will never give you more than you can handle. You must understand that. So when you are in a place of loneliness where you feel uncomfortable, don't think that it's because, stupidity is happening to you. Look around at the lesson that's being told and really dive deep into who you are as a person and what you need to do to think better. Now, loneliness can be dangerous because if you don't have a good spirit inside of you, what loneliness tends to do, and this is what happened to me when I was younger, is that it will manipulate your brain to thinking that life isn't worth living, or nobody's there to talk to, or you might as well just end it all. Those are the things that circle in my head, and that's actually unfortunately why people really, commit at the end of the day. But that ain't gotta be you. Because this time with my loneliness, the reason why it became so beneficial to my life is because I leaned on towards the Bible. I prayed, I read the Bible, and I just invested myself to God. I washed my hands away from the world, and I decided that, I'm not going to distract myself with anything anymore. I'm going to face my fears. And I only had God. That was the only person I could talk to. Because if I was in my own head, I would go crazy. But I had to verbally speak to God, pray to Him, and naturally things got better. So my friend, the only way you're going to beat loneliness is if you lean on to God to show you what you need to see to be the best version of yourself. You've got to understand that you were born here for a great purpose, and God has amazing plans for you, and you're going to do great things, but you can't do without His plan. You can't want great things but not want God, because you don't know the great things that God has for you. He's like the instructor of your life. He teaches you and shows you where you need to go, because He plans your life. But if you refuse to walk away, if you refuse to accept the authority of the author of your life, well, you're kind of just wandering aimlessly, no purpose, lonely, and you're constantly going in a loop of lonely in a high, lonely in a high, lonely in a high, with the distraction over and over again, and life will seem meaningless. Now, if you struggle to understand, if God's trying to tell you something, whatever it is, it's a relationship that you have to seek for yourself. You've got to want to seek a loving relationship with someone who loves you, because the God loves you. He really does. He cares for you, and He doesn't like seeing you feel lonely and lost. That's one thing I had to understand, that God doesn't want to see me lonely and lost. And if someone doesn't want to see me lonely and lost, that means they love you. So the question is, are you going to accept the help? Because you're watching this video right now thinking that God doesn't want to talk to you. But if you're watching this video right now, that means that this is your sign to get closer to God. He's waiting for you. You haven't done anything as bad as you think you have to force God to not want to speak to you. And nothing that you've done is too great for God to forgive. He's waiting for you. Go back. Or if you haven't ever went back to Him, start today. Pray. Ask God for forgiveness. Read the Bible. And I promise you, you'll get rid of all the demons that have been tormenting you this whole time, and all the lonely feelings that you feel. You will never feel alone, because you have the greatest being inside of you that's giving you consistent love. Above all else, as you grow a connection with God and become better and things of that nature, you become a much stronger and better person. You won't even recognize who you are anymore, because you become the person that you never thought you could be. But the choice is yours, my friend. I'm not here to impose or force anything on you. I'm just here to give you a simple thing that works for me. That's how I got rid of my loneliness. And this is how you can get rid of your loneliness too. Permanently. Not temporarily this time. God bless, take care, and I see you guys next video.